It's Market Day Report. Look at the canola in the background. That means one thing. Let's talk canola now. Canola futures. Are we higher? No, we're lower. The canola market has really been moving higher here and moving along with another market. Is it moving higher? Talking soybeans, and no, beans are lower. November, down a dime, 11.78 3/4. We lost that 12 handle on the January as well. Staying here in the complex, soy meal contracts lower. How about bean oil? Yep, we're lower across the board. Triple-digit losses here as well after 6 straight sessions higher. Well, speaking of trends, this is a trend lower for hard red. It's been lower now 9 straight sessions. We're down 13. 634. We have Chicago trading lower for the 3rd straight session. 601.5 off 7 1/4. Then we have corn lower now for the 3rd straight session. December 467 down 5 1/2. Well, there's not a whole, well, there is no green there. That's how we welcome in, however, Chris Swift with Swift Trading. Sorry, I thought maybe I could throw canola out there and make it happen.
Throw me in the fire, that's all right.
How about the beans, though, and really bean oil higher 6 straight sessions?
Yeah, so Tommy Grisafi and I got to be part of a roundtable last Friday, and we discussed all the different markets, and specifically soybeans, because they've been higher more so than any of the others, and I think that's a component of the energy market and the soybean oil. And barring today's lower price, we've seen mostly that grains the soybeans and the soybean oil have been considerably higher, with new contract high yesterday for that soybean oil. But we're kind of losing that energy component now, or we're improving our crops. You know, one of the two, and I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. We've kind of lost a little bit of the energy strength. We have been able to get weather come in, and we've had some rain, widespread rains, and so now we're going to be for probably 4 or 5 weeks just kind of jockeying back and forth to see who really needs the moisture, who got the most, and kind of balance that out.
You know, we think of bean oil right now, we talk about crush, and the crushing capacity right now is fairly tight when it comes to the soybeans. So you could have demand and maybe not be able to meet all that demand. And we've kind of learned about that from another market, have we not?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I.e. the beef market.
Yeah. Yep.
If you can have the demand and not have the product at the end of the day. Is that a classic example, just watching cattle?
It can be. You know, in the cattle market specifically there, we have got an anomaly, and that is that price did not encourage expansion. And we don't know where we go from here, because historically that is what does it. And now we're kind of slipping in price just a little bit. And although I do believe we do have some expansion going, again, the weather might impact that and vary it just a little bit.
All right. We're talking with Chris Swift, Swift Trading. He's in studio, and we won't let him run off. We're back in a moment with more Market Day Report. All right, let's jump back into the markets. Now, normally we jump into livestock, but I want to start a little differently. Let's look at WTI. West Texas Intermediate, 92.02, down 14. Now, this is the July contract we're looking at. Here's what it looks like over the past month. Now, that peaked back on the 18th. When you look at it from a month perspective, then look at it over the 5 days. Yeah, we had a little peak in there yesterday. Otherwise, we're in a fairly tight trade range of 87 to maybe 92. Here's what we've been looking at throughout the session today. Again, did it move on maybe a tweet or something? Don't know. But we do know this. We move on headlines today. How about the live cattle market? Well, live cattle futures are a little lower, down 70, 248.30 on the front month. Most active August, 239.70. It's down 90. We go over to the feeder side and seeing a little deeper losses here. Not even 1% yet, but $2.50 lower. on August, 349.05. One more here. It's the hog market. We're lower across the board. Chris Swift is with Swift Trading. All right. I don't know if this is fully out yet, but if the market reacts to headlines and what could be coming, Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins, Dudley Hoskins, Associate Administrator or Undersecretary. We've got the APHIS Associate Administrator, Texas Animal Health Commission Executive Director, all on a press call this afternoon at 1:15. The topic, New World Screwworm. Where, again, will the market start trading this? Will it? I mean, this is pretty close to the end of the day when this comes out.
Yeah, well, I think it already had. If you look what the lows for the day were, they're about $4 lower than what you just showed up there, still down 2. So we were down over 6 on the day. And the only thing that I can say is it does literally the same thing as what the U.S. did with the Mexican border. They shut the borders down. So whether that's county, state, region, I don't know, but it halts interstate commerce there because you don't want that spread to there. So I don't know how they do it, but that's what the fear is, I think, is the inability to market that inventory is what the fear is.
Well, now pull that back to let's say a feeder perspective. How are feeders going to be looking at what could be coming one way or the other?
Well, cattle feeders would be trying to source cattle from other places besides where they had. And again, it probably makes it a little bit more difficult because if you're in a state that doesn't have a lot of cattle feeding capacity, but yet you do have a lot of feeder cattle in there, then that makes it that much worse because I can't move them out. That might fill those feed yards in that local area, but I've still got a whole lot more feeder cattle that I can't move outside the region.
Yeah, it's important to note we don't have any indication that the New World Screwworm is in the U.S. yet. We just know it's been getting closer and closer. What, 31 miles?
Yeah, and wildlife, we have a tremendous amount of hosts that it can produce itself on. And so just because we don't see it in a domesticated piece of livestock does not mean it's not there.
Yeah. Birds. It can even get in birds. And last time I checked, you can't keep a bird from flying over a border. So anyway, we'll know more. 1:15 this afternoon is when that press conference is with Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins.
And we'll be tuning in because I think the recent 131 miles away, that's like a lamb, sheep or something like that. But a couple months ago, we reported it was in a dog. So
yeah,
really,
so it's dogs, cats. It's been in hogs.
Right.
It's been in, I don't remember all of my Spanish words for different wildlife, but it's been in quite a few.
Yeah,
so.
something we're definitely tracking, of course, and great insight from both of you as always.